Hello, I'm Betsy Rosum. Welcome to Motivating Mondays. Today's topic is happiness. And I'm so glad you're here with us today as we talk about happiness. And I wanted to share a little bit about, I did some research about happiness and success. I started out with thinking about how to be happy when you're sad. And that those two feelings can be experienced at the same time. It was interesting because for a while I didn't think they could be, and yet I've experienced it. Hi, Krista. Thank you for joining us today. Hi, Ray. And so I wanted to share a little bit about that. I know that for me, for the longest time, I wasn't sure that I was like, those two feelings can't be experienced at the same time. They're contradictory. Happiness and sadness at the same time, and yet I have experienced that. Hi, Maureen. Thank you for joining us today. So I want to share about how, for me, particularly with my daughter's death, how I could experience happiness and sadness at the same time. I would feel sad about the loss. And then when I thought of the memories, some special memories, her laughter, her joy, her enthusiasm, her accomplishments, I was filled with happiness. So even in some of our most darkest and challenging times of sadness, we can find happiness. So hi, Tracy and Constance. Thank you for joining us today. So I do want to talk about happiness. And also, I did a little research on the value of happiness and how it coincides with our success. Happy people are the most successful people, and happiness feeds success, success feeds happiness. That's kind of a circle, very similar to the giving and receiving circle. Happiness and success have a similar energy, and they feed each other. Yeah, wistful happiness, tainted. Thank you, Krista. And yet, it's the happiness I share in regards to my daughter. It is a very complete knowing and treasure and joy, real joy of who she is, who she was. I am gleeful about those things about her. And yet there is a sadness that and I can't reach out and touch her. I call it messy. It's kind of messy, that sadness and that happiness together. And yet, those times of happiness and finding joy in that challenge is what keeps me getting up in the morning. It keeps me out of bed. It keeps me out of a funk. It keeps me moving forward in the direction that I know that my soul is supposed to be going. So I do want to talk a little bit about what I've found in the research I did about happiness. It's the single greatest competitive advantage in modern society. Only 25% of your job successes are based upon intelligence, skills, education, and most companies hire based on this category, and yet 75% of long-term job success is based upon your ability to positively adapt to the world with optimism, social support, creation, and viewing stress as a challenge instead of a threat. There's a decade of research suggesting that smart and unhappy people and successful unhappy people are significantly underperforming what their brain can do. Because we know people who are smart and unhappy. We know that they're successful and unhappy, but they could actually be so much more successful if they were happy. We know this because when you raise your level of positive